Everybody say hi.
Hello.
With love from Atlanta, Georgia. This is Lymph Live. So yeah, we're taking a look at a pitting assessment, but what's really interesting before you do it, just looking at the ligature mark that the sock is leaving behind tells you. The other thing is look at the sheen of the skin. Remember what I
That's the
said?
sheen you was talking about. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's not just because she did nice shaving her legs.
What about the sheen?
When you get that shine, there's a lot of edema. It's almost like a balloon and it's stretched to max capacity. And now I'll show it to you. When you press in, watch. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to release.
Wow. You can see a little shine. Right
Yeah, when skin is stretched very tightly because of the amount of edema. Now, is it symmetrical or asymmetrical?
Asymmetrical.
Hey.
Yeah, it's asymmetrical. And what would you grade this as if you had to time it? What do you think this is?
3 plus.
Oh yeah, that's a 3.
3 plus.
So you've already got a couple things here. You've confirmed the report, there's edema. It's asymmetrical. You know it's stretched tight, and just by the feeling of the tissue, you can feel the viscosity. So she's a little bit dehydrated here, although it's not fibrotic yet. It's not like hard like a table and the skin is changing colors and got these thick layers of what I call baklava looking skin. So is she a candidate, you think, for lymph drainage? Could lymph drainage help
Yes,
her?
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, so this is going
If
to
it was-
liberate. Can
If
I
it was-
guess for
if
you?
it was symmetrical, it would have been from one of the organs, so you wouldn't want to do that, right?
Yeah, if it was symmetrical,
that
we
one.
would be saying,
Organ?
is this possibly an
Oh,
organ that's
okay.
causing it?
Okay.
And if it was symmetrical, then what would it look like? They would both be.
It's
They,
they're
they would be
both
equal, and you'd have equal pitting on both sides too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
But symmetrical could also just be a venous stasis swelling.
Or it could also be diabetes. Diabetes might be
That would be
symmetrical too.
symmetrical? That'd be-
Or
If I could guess right now, based on that edema, just on 3+ pitting from what we're seeing, she's probably carrying out at least 15 pounds of edema in her legs. And I can feel it into her feet and her
Yeah.
ankles too. Because does fluid have weight to it?
Yes.
Okay, so just FYI, in your assessment, don't just include circumferential measurements if you're taking those or pitting, but you might want to get that weight in there because today she's on my table and she may weigh this much. By tomorrow that lymph is moving, lymph angiomotoricity's increased, she's urinating it out. Like I said, that's how we kept track of that extraordinary limb and go, oh my gosh, it's 100 pounds lighter.
every Friday I
Yeah.
do circumferential measurements and weight.
Yeah.
Every Friday.
Do you
Well,
do your
except for yesterday,
photos?
it was on Thursday. Yes, and also the
Before and afters.
University of Georgia, Georgia Tech has a new program that they've been piloting with us. And what they have is it's an iPad, and in the computer program, it actually does the circumferential measurements.
For you.
So it'll be out
Yeah.
within the next couple of years.
That's
It's
what we
amazing.
had. We would put our statistics into the computer and they go ahead and it will actually calculate the amount of limb volume in both limbs and then your reduction as you go, which is nice.
But this actually with the computer, or with your iPad, you come around, you take measures, you look all the way around, it does a 3D effect.
Which
and
is
then,
beautiful.
And then it gives you a circumferential measurement and you compare their numbers to your numbers. But it'll be out, so.
We've come, like I said, so far from where we were 20 years ago. Where, yeah, you had to be pretty skilled with your centimeters and millimeters. But yeah, they now have some equipment that they're working on there and some other places too, where you can get that data and then you're able to forward that to doctors and stuff. You know, obviously they need it a little more streamlined. But these are 2 great examples. They're very different. You got a stage 1 here, you got a stage 3 here. You've got watery type edema here. You've got more viscous lymph here. So is all edema created equal?
No.
No, it's different. And the other thing is also the length of time someone had it. obviously the longer they've had it, probably the thicker you're gonna find it to be, if it hasn't been treated ever, versus someone who's just developed it recently. So obviously the ones we see recently, more mild swelling, it goes pretty quickly, usually within about 3 to 5 days the average. This has been around a little bit longer, I can feel that. This might take about a week to 2 weeks.
A
But-
week to 2 weeks, how many days a week?
I would do 5 days
Of course, yeah,
consecutive.
it's gonna have to be every day.
How many
Mhm.
minutes?
50 minutes, like what we're doing in this classroom, the 50-minute
5
full
days,
body
50
and
minutes.
get it out of there. And you're gonna be doing your moonwalk and getting some new dancing shoes.
And we can't deny that weight loss would be a major factor in helping. You know, I mean, we don't like to talk that way, but it's the truth. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm speaking when there's a lot of abdominal pressure, specifically when pressure on those organs and also those lymphatics.
Yeah.
Well, with her losing the lymph, she would naturally lose.
Well, we're talking fat. We're talking
real
we're talking
fat,
body mass.
not
Yeah.
fluid.
Yeah, one thing you're gonna find is pretty much people anywhere from 300 pounds over, almost all of them. If you take your thumbs and you press in their lower extremities, you're gonna see some edema, and sometimes, like to that point, it's just the adipose putting so much pressure on those tiny lymph vessels that are the size of a hair, or you get that pendulum type abdomen, and it's resting right on the inguinal lymph nodes. So it's putting pressure on major structures, the sternocleidomastoid here, and now you start backing up with edema. And to that point is why in Europe, they keep you inpatient, they try to put you on a healthy diet, help you lose weight in a very healthy, efficient way. And just the weight loss taking the pressure off those vessels will free up the vessels so that the lymph can move again. Sometimes that's just the only thing. For some people, it's just being overweight, putting pressure on the lymph structures. And weight loss will solve it.
Yeah.
I've experienced during a session, just working on a breast cancer patient where the meridian lines for the nose going up would start leaking, like perspiration.
Oh, yes. When the lymph is in the interstitial space, and sometimes it actually comes through the skin as perspiration.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, and
Oh,
and you
yeah.
can see the line, like 3-finger
Mhm.
line, 5-finger line, and I'm thinking,
What do you mean the
I'm
line?
She's talking about some of the meridian lines,
Oh, okay.
which it's my opinion, we can't say it's fact yet, but I've spoken with other practitioners. A lot of these lymph vessels are parallel to where
those
there's been
lines.
pre-mapped meridian lines in Oriental medicine. I thought,
Yeah.
you know, to me, I think they mapped it out, but they called it something different. We call it lymph, they call it meridians. But yeah, they knew that some kind of form of energy was running from here upwards.
Well, we also know that the lymph system parallels the venous system.
Exactly.
everywhere, so-
And you say you could actually see the
Yeah, it
meridian?
was just like sweating coming off.
Yeah,
Face.
sweating.
But it was so uniform, like the stripes on her
Incredible.
shirt.
Yeah.
It was just in line, and you know, it was just draining outward. And when she got off the table, she said, "I can put my
Pants
pants
back
on
on."
without stress," you know. And I said, "Well, okay," but I still did not know people what was
What
going
that was.
on.
You know what, I think you reminded us of something we learned yesterday. Remember, the lymph system, is it a circulatory system?
No.
No.
It's a transportation system, and
Yeah.
therefore the lymph system is half open.
Open.
Remember those vessels
Yes.
where lymph, I told you, can get out of the
Mhm,
vessel?
mhm.
Well, when it does, where is it?
Oh.
It's in the interstitial space, and
Yes.
do you not have pores in your skin? Do you
So,
not
yeah,
sometimes
it's gonna come out. Okay,
sweat
okay.
it out?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen too.
Wow.
So sometimes, yeah, we'll be working, it's not just that it's in the vessel, sometimes you got lymph that's outside, we call it interstitial fluid at that point, but it still can be visible, and yes,
That was
practitioners
my
will say
second
that.
question. Do you call it interstitial? Because, you know,
No, it's out
MT,
there.
you know, and they were telling us, you know, things as MTs would tell it, you know, and coming from you, it's totally enlightening.
So-
Hearing the things, you know.
Did everyone learn something today?
Oh,
Yes,
Alright.
yes.
So how would you know if it's sweat or lymph?
Yeah.
But you know what, at that point, what you would really have to do is almost take like a little biopsy or put that under, yeah, but do they do that? Researchers do. And that's why we got a researcher on our team in here.
Okay.
Stay tuned for more.
Oh,
That-
okay.
Yes, to be continued. So guys, what we're gonna do, I want you to go to the table. I want you to do a little pitting assessment. Let's see if there's some more pitter patters in this room.
Okay.
What kind we got? So grab a partner, do-si-do.
Okay.
Do you